Yeah, I guess the other recontract news that people kind of grabbed onto was Albie Mathewson extending out until the end of the season, as we probably expected from as soon as he came in. Either of you want Munster to do well and be competitive, and right now he gives them the best chance of doing that. Even when he came off the bench against the Kings, he added so much tempo, zip, accuracy on his pass. Kieran Parker gets a new contract as well, and Sean O'Connor is going on to a development contract. The other really interesting one is this 19-year-old South African tight head, Keynan Knox, getting a 3-year deal. So he'll stay in the academy next year, and then after that, he'll, for the remaining 2 years of that contract, he'll go to the senior squad. He came over with another South African youngster, Matt Moore, just at the end of 2017. So they'll actually qualify for Ireland in the 3-year period rather than the 5-year period. I just want to get your take on it, Andy. Like, his pedigree is superb. He came out of the Michael House school that produced like Pat Lambie, Robbie Dyack, a couple of other guys who've gone on to achieve a lot of things. He played for the Sharks in that Craven Week, which is a massive schoolboy competition. And this, Knox was rated as one of the best prospects in the country, as was Matt Moore. Interestingly enough, they have the same agent as Johan van Graan, so there's the link there. But I just want to get your take on it, because I tend to get tweets about him and from angry people that are outside Munster probably saying, it's wrong that at this level they're taking a South African schoolboy and trying to produce him.
I think I'm okay with it. If he becomes someone who's like a cornerstone of the Munster pack and the Irish pack, there's nobody harumphing about CJ Stander, who was born and bred in South Africa, and if it happens 5 years earlier at academy level, I get there's going to be some pretty disenfranchised young tight heads, and their parents of tight heads and the coaches of that tight head in the school system and academy system. But as long as it doesn't become prevalent, on a scale that there's 5 or 6 of them coming through every year to step in the way. If this guy is clearly way better than everyone else at his peer group level, then it makes sense. I think where it goes wrong, and Leinster, who've completely changed their policy on this, like Leinster in the mid-90s used to get guys in from the Southern Hemisphere, and like they were horrible duds. Like they were awful rugby players, but they had a Southern Hemisphere accent, and you're talking about guys like Tony Goldfinch, Aaron, I can't remember Aaron's,
Eddie Hekenui was in there.
Eddie Hekenui's right in there.
Poor old Eddie Hekenui, the much maligned
but yeah, maligned because they weren't good enough, and they were also, and my personal I was certainly behind Eddie, who, Nathan Spooner was brought in he was brilliant. He was an international player. He was established. Eddie Hekenui was a 3rd division club player who was a forklift driver. Nothing against that, but he wasn't a professional rugby player, and he was brought in ahead of a young Irish professional, me. But obviously he's still annoyed about that one. But that doesn't make sense. But Nathan Spooner coming in does, and the Tony Goldfinch, Eddie Hekenui thing, I get people being annoyed about, but this guy appears, from what I've heard, appears to be outstanding prospect, will be Irish qualified, and more of a once-off type policy than let's use this going forward in general. I think it's project players.
Yeah, it's a professional sport, and an element of this is going to, obviously rugby is years and years and decades behind football, but that's the way it's gone in that sport, because you're under so much pressure to achieve and succeed and fill your stadium when you're winning matches. And in Munster's eyes, Keynan Knox is a better prospect than obviously the local tight heads were in that age grade. So yeah, I think he is an exciting prospect for Munster fans, and I guess that's the nature of the game now.